All right, hello AP Government. So I want to start getting these videos going for you all, breaking down just some details and strategies and things for components of your AP exam, which we are now 2 weeks away from. So we're going to use this week and next to then basically just focus on review and preparation for the AP exam and nothing else, so that we can be as prepared as we can be once that actually is here. So this week I want to make sure that I'm getting to you right away how each of your 2 FRQs are going to be scored, and then breaking down some components of scoring for the argumentative essay FRQ. So this video is going to be the easiest one to do, which is just how the concept application question is going to be scored. Now the concept application FRQ is what you'll be responding to as your second FRQ for your AP exam. And in your concept application, you are going to be given a scenario in which there's something that's described. It could be an action of government, a statement or something done by the president. It could be a scenario detailing citizens signing up for some kind of organization or something. Just some type of scenario that shows either government in action or citizens participating. And then you're going to get 3 questions. It'll be a part A, part B, part C. And basically the scoring for the concept application is 1 point per portion. Did you get part A correct? Did you get part B correct? Did you get part C correct? 1 point, 1 point, 1 point on a 3-point scale. And that's the concept application scoring for you. Now, usually what you'll see is some type of kind of clear, like active verb. It'll either say describe or explain or identify, things like that. The verb itself is really important in telling you what it is that you need to do. If part A of a concept application just says identify a part of the Constitution that's relevant to this scenario, they just want you to give a 1-sentence response in which you just name a part of the Constitution. Or they could say identify a presidential power on display in this scenario. Same thing, they just want you to just state it. You don't need to go into detail, you don't need to describe it. And for some of you, that's good news. For some of you, that's going to be really difficult to just only do a 1-sentence thing in which you just name it and you don't even describe it at all. Now, if you really want to shore it up and it would help you feel comfortable to write 2 sentences in which you name the thing and then show you know what it is you're talking about, great. But I'm telling you, if the verb is just identify, that's all they want from you to do. Just name the thing. For a describe or explain question, that's where then you need about a 2 to 3, maybe 4-sentence response, but it does not need to be more than a paragraph. So if it's describe how Congress and the president could work together within this scenario, then be clear and be specific in a 2 to 3-sentence type of response. It would be most helpful in a concept application question to actually list some specific things. So, for example, if the scenario is a Supreme Court justice has been on the court for 35 years and has announced they are going to be retiring 1 year from today. Part A might say, identify the branch of government that is responsible for filling what will be an open seat in the next year. And all you need to do for that part A is just say, the president holds the power to nominate justices, which the nominations must be approved and ratified by the Senate. Done, you identified. If part B then might ask you something like, describe how the relationship between the president and Congress shows up in this scenario or impacts this scenario. And this is where you can go a variety of different ways. Just make sure you speak well and have some good detail. Talk through how the president must build up good working relationships with the Senate in particular, because the president's going to rely on Senate approval to be able to get any nominated justice actually on the Supreme Court. And you can do that in a variety of different ways. The third one then is going to probably be something that's a little bit more of seems more like a tangent, but then is kind of loosely related. Maybe part C could be something like, explain the criteria a president might use, or explain the criteria that might be used in determining a new Supreme Court justice. And this is where you could talk about, and you just basically just show what you know. Show that you know the Constitution doesn't give any formal requirements. And then you could talk about things like, for example, the merit system, that in theory, a justice is going to be nominated based off of their reputation and their professional accomplishments up to that point, with some skills in certain areas. So it might be tangent, but still related. Again, the concept application question in all is 3 parts. Part 1, 2, and 3 are the A, B, C, and each one is somewhere around 2 to 4 sentences, depending on what the verb is. So you don't need to really overdo it, so that you can then make sure you're saving good time for your argumentative essay. That's the concept application. It really is just going to be determined by what the actual scenario is and what's being asked of you and what those operating verbs are going to be. So the best way to prepare for the concept application question is review the content of the class. Go through your notes, watch those review videos that I've been sending your way, and that's going to be the best way to be prepared. But be clear where you can, give specific examples of things when you can. Don't leave things open-ended, but also don't overwrite responses, because you're going to need time for your argumentative essay. That's the concept application, just kind of the basics of what it is to expect with that. On to the next one.